Welcome back to the Bear Down Podcast on NCAA Football 14, guys, a.k.a. College Football Revamped, where it's all about everything Arkansas A&M. Our Black Bears sitting at 7-1 on the season, number 7 in the country, coming off a tough week of games again. All these close games, man, really starting to mess with my blood pressure. Not going to lie to you. In today's video, we'll take a look back at the week that was, get ready for the week that's upcoming, take a look at the recruiting class, and again, we'll be jumping into our top 5 plays of the week. So make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're brand new. So the gauntlet of games continued this week as we took on Auburn, pulling the game out 39-34. Man, you talk about a back and forth game. We led at halftime 21-20. Went into the third, scored 10 points, 8 in the fourth, able to pull away. This was another tough matchup for our Black Bears. Gabe Perez finished the game 27 of 41 for 331, 2 touchdowns. He completed 65% of his balls and was sacked twice. On the ground, though, Corey Green has come into his own this season. 27 carries, 137 yards, 2 touchdowns. We got to get that average up a little bit, man. Only 5 yards per carry. Out wide, Mike Warren had himself a day. 13 grabs for 169 yards and a touchdown. Albert Flowers, 9 catches, 92 yards and a touchdown. Ashton Ryan, 3 for 38. Torian Jack, 1 catch for 7 yards, and Dominic Foreman, 1 for 25. But Mike Warren was the weapon of choice for Gabe this week. He put up some incredible numbers. Defensively, another tough game, man. This defense is having such a hard time covering and tackling. Robinson led the way with 8 tackles. You had Jake Payne with 7 tackles. Donnell Swan had 5. You had Lumpkin with 4. Thomas had 4. Alston had 3. You had Morris and Johnson each with 2. 4 sacks on the day, 1 for Hester, 1 for Browning, Turner, and Johnson. But again, no turnovers for this defense. It's becoming a story, man. I feel like we have the guys in place who can make some plays and force turnovers, but they're just not doing it. Here's a look at the team stats. We won the first down battle, total offense battle. We outpassed them by a lot, but look at the rushing yards, man. They ran for 305 yards. The saving grace for this defense, though, holding Auburn to 2 of 7 on third down, 0 for 2 on fourth, and we were dang near perfect inside the red zone. And we held the ball for almost 23 minutes. But somehow, some way, this Auburn offense, even though only having the ball less than 10 minutes, was able to put up almost 40 points on us. But talk about a game that had 0 defense. That was the LSU game. 56-49 at halftime. The score was 35-28. We had to put up 21 points in the third quarter to finally pull away from these Tigers. It was a rough day for Gabe, man. He threw for 454 yards, 4 touchdowns, but he also threw 3 interceptions. On the ground, Corey Green, man, this kid is having a breakout season. 26 carries for 176 yards, 4 rushing touchdowns. Out wide, we had 2 wide receivers go over 100 yards. Kyle Holloway, 7 grabs for 135 and a score. Albert Flowers, 7 catches, 115 and a touchdown. Dominic Foreman, 5 for 71. Ashton Ryan, 4 catches for 72 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think we might have found a new position for Ashton Ryan, which is the slot. He had both of his touchdowns came from the same play in the same position where on the field. He was in the left slot, and he caught 2 balls that were just beautiful. Green had 2 for 13, Mike Warren 2 for 43, and Torian Jack had 1 catch for 5 yards. And the defensive struggles continue. As you can see, the quarterback from LSU, Ramsauer, had a monster day. 30 of 34, 342 yards, 6 touchdowns. Lumpkin had 9 tackles on the day. Smith had 6 and an interception. Swan had 6 as well. Thomas had 6, so did Johnson and Robinson. You had Wright down here with 5. Morris had 4, and Payne had 2. I think the biggest glaring hole in this defense, man, is our lack of bringing pressure. We had no sacks against LSU. Now, they do have a really good offensive line, but for our defensive line not to get a sack is just pathetic. 56-49 was the final. We outgained them on first downs. Total yards, we got them. They outrushed us 207 to 105. We outthrew them 454 to 342. We held them to 4 of 9 on third down, 0 for 1 on fourth. Almost perfect again inside the red zone, but they forced 3 turnovers, and they all led to touchdowns. So we just got to be able to control the ball, limit our turnovers. We held the ball for 18 minutes. This offense is good. We have a really good offense. Now if we could just get our defense to match us, we would be unstoppable. And we get our first look at the BCS standings today. And Texas sitting at number 1. Then you've got Bama in at 2. Michigan State falls to 3, just falls a spot. Missouri is 4. Washington in at 5. Southern Miss is in at 6. And you've got us at 7. Air Force is 8. Florida State is 9. And you got Navy rounding out your top 10. You got Arizona in at 11. Georgia is 12. Michigan 13th. USC is 14th. Maryland falls to 15. Notre Dame is 16. Texas A&M is 17. You got Clemson in at 18. Auburn is 19. Iowa is 20. Florida is 21. Louisiana Lafayette, they took an L to New Mexico State and fall 13 spots to 22. You got Tennessee at 23. Wisconsin creeps back into the top 25 in at number 24. And Tulane rounds out your top 25. Now, we've been saying this for weeks now, ever since our loss to Tennessee. We're going to need some help at the top here. Texas is taking on Kansas this week. That should be a win for the Longhorns. Then you've got Alabama. They've got, I think that's Oklahoma this week. Hopefully Oklahoma can show up for that game. Michigan State takes on Michigan. I've never said this before in my life, but I'm rooting for the Wolverines on this one. You got Missouri taking on K-State. That should be a win for Missouri. Washington has Stanford. Stanford is known to pull off upsets in the Pac-12, so let's hope that they can pull one off here. Southern Miss has Florida Atlantic. All right, FAU, let's get this dub, man. So, again, we're going to need some help if we plan on getting back to the national championship. It's not going to be easy, but I think we can get it if we can get some help. Take a look at the stats through 8 games. Gabe Perez, 2,859 yards through the air, 22 touchdowns with 8 interceptions. A lot of turnovers here in the past few games, including the game last week where he threw 3 interceptions. But look at the numbers he's averaging, 357 yards per game. I think that might be his most, the most of his career. He is just doing an amazing job this year carrying this team. He's going to definitely break 4,000 yards passing, maybe even 5,000. The ground game, Corey Green has come into his own, man. 174 carries for almost 1,100 yards, 20 touchdowns. Again, when we started the season, we didn't know who the running back was going to be. And I think Corey's kind of separated himself from the pack and showed that he is a dangerous weapon for this offense. Brandon Bain, 45 carries, 174 yards, 5 touchdowns. He's the slower out the two, which is kind of crazy because I think Brandon has better speed and acceleration. I just don't know if Brandon is a good fit at running back. We'll have to look and see what other position he might be able to play. Out wide, I think we're going to have 3 receivers knocking on the door of 1,000 yards, led by Mike Warren, 52 grabs for almost 800 yards and 5 scores. Ashton Ryan having a monster year at tight end, 41 catches for 776 yards, 8 touchdowns. And then there's Albert Flowers, kind of creeping back up to where he needs to be, 34 grabs, 501 yards, and 4 scores. You've got Dominic Foreman, the sophomore, 21 catches, 341, and 3 touchdowns. Kyle Holloway had a big game last week. He's got 12 catches, 215 and a score this year. Luke Baker, 9 for 101 and a touchdown. And then you've got the backs and the backup tight ends down here. Corey Green, 7 for 68. Jack, 4 for 20. Bain, 3 for 13. Lawson, 2 for 33. Defensive side of the ball, we've added a couple new formations to our defense, a couple 3-3-5 looks. Being able to get more speed and coverage ability on the field. Chris Johnson leading the way, 69 tackles. Jonathan Thomas having a great senior year, 54 tackles, 7 TFLs. Bryant Smith at corner, 41 tackles. Donnell Swan has 33. Anthony Robinson with 30. Jake Payne with 27. And Jeff Lumpkin with 23. It's not good seeing, 5 of your or 6 of your top 7 are from your secondary getting tackles, man. That's crazy. Andrew Morris with 21 tackles. For Warda has 19. Kyle Wright with 17. Trey Turner has 14 tackles. Kevin Smith has 11. And Leon Hester goes with 10. QB pressure department, again, we have a lack of a pass rush is really killing us. These quarterbacks have all day in the pocket to throw. Leon Hester, 4 sacks. Paul Wilson has 3. So does Kyle Browning. You got Trey Turner and Donnell Swan with 2 apiece. Austin and Johnson each with 1. Interception department, Jonathan Thomas, like I said, having a great senior campaign. 3 interceptions. Donnell Swan has 2. Then you got a bunch of guys down here with 1. Lumpkin, Holland, Johnson, Payne, Smith, Forwarda, and Robinson. Taking a look at special teams, freshman Dustin Wood, 7 of 7 for field goals with a log of 49, and he's perfect on extra points. You got Ryan Barnes, 9 punts for 406 yards. In the return game, Jake Payne, 40 returns for 1,202 yards and a touchdown. And then in the punt return, 9 returns for 79 yards. Taking a look at your college football leaders, Gabe Perez putting up big numbers, man, almost 1,000 yards more than Matthews from Southern Miss. Then you've got Ingram from Alabama with 1864, Richardson from Clemson with 1837, and Johnson from Tulane with 1813. On the ground, Schneider from Missouri leading the country in rushing with 1,176 yards. Then there's Corey Green with nearly 1,100 yards. Adams from Wisconsin, he's got 1,024. Tillman from Cincinnati, 993. And Ross from Rice, 992 yards. Out wide, Moss from Purdue leading the country with 844 yards. Pitts from Southern Miss with 813. He's second. Then you got Mike Warren third with 792. Then there's Ashton Ryan with 776. And Foreman from Louisiana Tech with 756. Tackle department, Chris Johnson leading the country with 69 tackles, followed by Jonathan Thomas with 54. And Brian Smith has 41. Barrett from North Carolina with 33. And Jenkins from Pitt with 32. Sack department, Hodge from Miami of Ohio has 8.5 sacks. Mullins, from Marshall, he's got 7.5. So does Owen from Buffalo. Minor from FIU. Minor from FIU with 7.5 sacks. You got Payne from Fresno State with 6.5. And then Hester, 53rd on this list with 4 sacks. Interception department, Brown and Jackson, Johnson, Bird, and Wright each have 4 interceptions. And then Jonathan Thomas is 26th on this list with 3. All right, fellas, it is time for my favorite part of the podcast, taking a look back at the week that was and the top 5 plays. Here we go, kicking things off at number 5. 2nd and 7, 3 wide. Get a field, Mike. Don't score. He scored. Touchdown, Bears. Let's go, man. Here's number 4. LSU set up to go for it on 4th down. Make the tackle. Let's go, man. Thank you. Here's number 3. 4 wide. Got you. Got you, Ashton. Great play. Touchdown, Bears. Got you again. Got him again. Touchdown, Bears. Number 2. Thank you, sir. Let's go, Trey. 4th down. Let's go. And the top play from this past week goes to 2nd and 10, 4 wide. Run the ball. Run the ball, Corey. Run the ball, Corey. Get in the end zone, Corey. Touchdown, Bears. So it's time to hit the recruiting trail. And it's been a tough week of recruiting for our Black Bears. We have got to get some of these bigger name players to go ahead and commit. Let's kick things off at the top. Edward O'Connor, the 5-star athlete from Texas. We've got a small lead over Kansas for him right now, 6'2", 205. And then you've got Anthony Peterson, the number 1 strong safety in this class. We were first on his list, but now he's got Western Michigan ahead of us by a large amount. Lewis Brown, the big tackle from Florida, 6'6", 271, the number 8 tackle in this class. Nebraska, Michigan, and Alabama ahead of us on his list. Same for Aaron Thomas, the outside linebacker from Texas, the 4-star prospect. Bama's number 1 on his list, followed by Nebraska. We're 3rd. Bo Moore, the athletic middle linebacker from Oklahoma. He's got Nebraska and Notre Dame ahead of us right now. Will Slater, the uber-talented defensive end for Mississippi, a 4-star prospect. He's looking to stay close to home. Mississippi State and the Cajuns, 1 and 2. We're behind by 1,400 points. You got Jacob Cox, the wide receiver, 5-star prospect from Ohio. He's got his number 1 on his list, and the lead is growing. Then there's James Ware from California, 6'2", 185, the number 85 cornerback prospect in this class. He's got us ahead of Rutgers, Baylor, Boise State, and USC. Then you've got Dennis Harris from Nebraska, the 3-star prospect. He's got us ahead of Oklahoma, Pitt, Ohio State, and the U. And then there's Chris Lumpkin, the free safety, 6'2", 203. We're number 1 on his list with LSU trailing us. We did pick up Michael Barber, the 4-star athlete from Alaska, 5'11", 194. This kid could be a running back. He could be a wide receiver. Could play safety. But I think his better fit or his best fit will probably be in the backfield. 88 speed. He's got 86 agility, 90 acceleration, great break tackle, trucking. Not that elusive, but he's got a nice spin move and a nice juke move. Taking a look at the top classes, and Washington moves into that number 1 spot with 8 prospects, followed by us. I think we just have to do a better job at closing out some of these recruits. There are a lot of big-name players on our board. We've got to put more effort into it. We got to start sending those text messages, those emails, those phone calls from coach, going to the game, showing love to these players. Something's got to give, man, because if we're not careful, we're going to lose out on a lot of great players. So taking a look at the schedule, man, our Black Bears have won 4 in a row since that loss to Tennessee. We've got Mississippi State and Arkansas State the next 2 weeks, and then comes the game that everybody has circled on their calendar. We head to Tuscaloosa to take on number 2 Bama. Listen, we can't get too far ahead, man. We've got to be able to focus and take care of business in these next 2 weeks before we can even start worrying about Bama. I think this Mississippi State game is going to be a tough one. The Bulldogs played us tough last season, and they're looking for revenge. I think we pulled that game out like by a couple of points. So we've got to come out, play focused, cannot turn the ball over, cannot force the ball with Gabe Perez, and the defense has to step up this week. We've got to be able to bring some pressure on the quarterback. We've got to be able to tackle, and we cannot let this run game come out and embarrass us on our home field. It's homecoming. We got to handle business. And things are about to get serious, fellas. We are back home for homecoming, taking on 5-2 Mississippi State. Like I said, in 2 weeks, we've got Bama. We cannot look ahead. We've got to handle business right now and then beat Arkansas State. It starts off taking on the Bulldogs. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're brand new. Don't forget to ring that bell. Join the Noti Squad. And make sure you guys hit those links down in my description. Follow your boy on Facebook, Twitter, and IG. And come through and join the Discord fan for exclusive content. And we'll talk from Bear Den Stadium as we take on 5-2 Mississippi State. Have a great day, guys. 2 fingers in the air. Peace. Big thank you to all the members of the channel and the Patreons. If you would like to become a member or a Patreon, hit the links down below in my description.